Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In this lesson, we are going to learn about effects, appearance panel workflow, clipping masks, and opacity masks. So let's get started. First, let's start by drawing a simple shape. So we go to the rectangle tool, click on it, and then drag and draw. Then we are going to give our rectangle tool some color. Let's give it red. So we are going to give it a drop shadow effect. To give it that drop shadow effect, you go to Effect, then you go to Stylize, and then you click on Drop Shadow. Then you just, the drop shadow panel will appear, and then you just click on OK. So it has created a subtle drop shadow, but we can edit it. So you go to Window and then look for the appearance panel. So when you click on the drop shadow on your appearance panel, we're able to edit our drop shadow. So we can increase on the opacity so that it is visible like that. We can also increase our stroke size from here. You can come here like this and increase the stroke size from the appearance panel or reduce it depending on what we want. Then next, we are going to drag our stroke under the appearance panel to go below our fill. Then we are going to give our stroke some kind of blur. So what we do, we click on the stroke here as this is selected. Then we go to Effect, and then we go to Blur, and then we give it some Gaussian blur. Now our stroke has been given some blur. You see that there is some change on our shape. So as I increase on the radius of the blur, our shape also changes. So let me just give it a subtle one. That is it. So again, we can give this shape an inner glow, but this time we're not going to select the stroke, we are going to select our fill. So when you select the fill, you go to Effect, and then you go to Stylize, and then you go to Inner Glow. So we can always change everything from here. There is center, and then there is edge. I think it's better for us to use edge. So when we increase on the opacity, also the black, you see that our inside edge of the fill color has changed. So we can also change the mode to whatever I want. You can say normal, and then it is going to change. When you say multiply, still you see it has changed. You can say screen, which you have been having, and it will be set up like you see. So you can click OK here, and then you see that there is some effect on our shape. So you can always do edits here according to the way you want your object to look, or the way you want your shape to look, depending on what you're designing. So that is it about the effects. Let's go to clipping masks. So what we are going to first do before we clip, we do the clipping mask, we are going to first bring in an object. So you go to File, Place, and then get your object, or alternatively, you can just go to wherever the objects are. Let me use this. So you just drag it like this, and then bring it to your artboard like that. So to create a clipping mask on this object, we need to put a shape over it. So we go to the rectangle tool, click on it. We can use any shape. So let us use the ellipse tool, and then we draw. If you want a perfect circle, you press shift and then draw the circle over your object like this. Then after, you drag with your select tool and select all the objects, and then you right click, you drag, right click, and then make clipping mask. So now our image has been contained within our shape. If you want to resize or move your object within this shape, you use this direct selection tool. You click on it like this, and then you can move your object. Select, and then you can move your object like that. Or if you want, you can increase on the size like this, and then you continue to move it like this. So now that is it on clipping masks. We are going to go to opacity masks. So also we are going to bring in an object. We are going to bring in the same object like this for opacity masks. And then what we are going to do, let's embed it. So what we are going to do, we are going to get a shape. Let's just put a same shape over it like this. Let's leave it at red. So when you select all these, and then you go to window and go to transparency, this is going to appear. So since you've selected all of them, you're going to click make mask. So the opacity mask does not give us color, but it only gives us the white and black kind of thing. So if I want to give a gradient over this object, I can click on the mask here, then I go to gradient and then click on the gradient slider, and then you'll see that where there is black, the image kind of disappears, and where there is white, the image is kind of visible. So you keep on dragging it like this to anywhere that you would want it. So when I select my image and I drag it, let's say, to this shape, you will see that now the effect is more alive with a color when it's over a color. So when I click on this on the mask thumbnail on my transparency panel, and then I click on my image and then I start moving it like this, you will see now the effect is really making more sense with color over it. I can actually also change this to a radial gradient, and then you'll see that our image is kind of faded into the red shape. So in order for it to disappear, I've clicked on my gradient slider here, and I've reduced its opacity so that it's not seen at all. And my image is going to blend into this color that is behind it. And that is what I was looking for. That is it for our lesson today. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on other videos. Bye!